Our last episode of the Seventh Valkyrie left us right in the frenzy of war, and while we have tons of plot threads to follow, we'll break them all down in this episode. Ready to get started? Well, first, let's get a message to our heroes of Etera. Hey there, this is Colin, creator of the Seventh Valkyrie. If you're hearing this, it means you're listening to the public version of TABTA. And I really appreciate that. It keeps the algorithm happy. It keeps us growing. But if you want to get a little fun personal message every week with behind-the-scenes stories, funny little bits, other insight into the creative process, you can hop over to our Patreon and become a hero of Etera. You'll support the series, you can shape the future of the Seventh Valkyrie, and find a whole lot of fun bonus content along the way. You can get started completely for free, and then if you decide you want to chip in and get bonus content, early access, and a whole lot more and help us along the path of heroes towards a whole lot of cool checkpoints, then you can do that. It's patreon.com/7thvalkyrie, that's 7THVALKYRIE, and give it a look. With that, on into the show. Well, hey everyone, and welcome to TABTA, the adventure behind the adventure for the Seventh Valkyrie, where we watch one series go from total obscurity to maybe 7 seasons in a movie, or maybe we just find the power of friendship along the way. I'm your host, Colin Sharp, creator and current voice of the Seventh Valkyrie, and this week we're talking about that Hateful Frenzy Part 1, which I believe is Chapter 32. If you have not heard Season 2, Chapter 32, that Hateful Frenzy Part 1, then stop, hold up, wait, no, I think maybe 31. I'm forgetting. Anyway, if you haven't heard Hateful Frenzy, don't listen, because I'm going to be breaking it down. For everyone else, 3, 2, 1, let's rock and roll. All right, let's dive into the episode. We are absolutely in it. We are in the thick of it now. The battle for the water has all but finished, and now the Freelanders are turning their focus to the old city itself. And we get to see our first sort of army-sized conflict in the series. Obviously, we had the Full Moon's Guard that kind of clashed, but we haven't seen this kind of steady back-and-forth battle yet. And you've got a lot of dynamics happening here. You've got Freelander gifts colliding against Eteran tactics and war machinery, and you can kind of see why it took so long for the cities to come to blows on such a large scale. When the Eterans attacked the new city, they got absolutely blasted the moment they tried to stay there much longer than a sneak attack. And even in this battle, you look the other way, even with the turncoats from Mandus and the Machine King and his forces and the full might of the new city and the four families, it takes the bonus of Nightmare and a bit of good fortune for the Freelanders to even make landfall. And of course, from then on, every inch given or taken is paid for in bodies and blood. Against this backdrop, though, we're in the throes of the Hateful Frenzy, but we have a bit more insight into BC and a little bit of her backstory. Her verbal war and her own struggles with Scene sort of reveal a lot about their past together, as well as her individual past, pretty quickly. We're starting to get some fragments of her memories, some fragments of her time here, the nature of her power, how it fit together with Corona's missions, a bit of their history. But just like BC perceives it through her haze of mixed drugs, there's a lot of chaos to unravel, and she certainly doesn't seem inclined to walk us through it just yet. Maybe in the episodes to come. But for now, at the end of this part 1, the four families are arriving and their foothold in the city is starting to form. And for the rest, you'll have to listen to the second part this coming week. Or if you're a patron and a hero of Etera, then you've already got it. But with all the inside of the episode summarized, let's talk about a little bit of outside the episode. And let's talk about the artwork for this one. The art for the past couple episodes I've been happy with. And what's wild is that AI is really good at getting the vibe. Like, when I put pieces together and it's like, oh, we gotta bring all these, like, compose this image in a way that, like, works, it's awesome. And then it's just that you got these weird details. Like, there was a picture of BC where she looked like incredible. It captured every aspect of her that I wanted to. And she had a a sword like going through her arm. And I tried a million times with like paint and fill, and it just kept putting a sword on her arm. And I don't know why it's doing that, or how, or what, I don't know how I can see inside the algorithm. But we've got these little details, and I've actually decided that for now I prefer to live with the good vibe and the obvious imperfections rather than trying to sort of make this look like something or look like something like that a human has done. Because in the long run, one of the biggest goals, and actually something I'm going to put on the Path of Heroes if it's not there, I actually want to hire some human artists to reinterpret some of these with fully accurate, more consistent, and hand-done interpretations. And maybe we'll make like a really cool physical media, like a book of all the chapters with like, I don't know how we'll bring it together, but I like the idea of making some sort of cool physical artifact. And for now, though, it is sort of an interpretation, but I kind of like the idea that in the telling of it and of the images, it's sort of a best guess. It's an AI's attempt at it. This isn't I guess right now it's kind of the official artwork, but it's not the be all end all of how people look. And you can see across each interpretation, people change, people adapt. It kind of has an energy to them. And you'll notice, I've described a few key features in each character, but how they truly look changes, day after day, week after week. It may be like if we switch to like a visual format, we'll have to pick an actor or a consistent character design. But for right now, how you imagine it is how these characters look. And it's the same for like this whole telling of this story. I want it to be sort of an interpretation. There's this one example of people talk about how the orcs in Return of the King, there's one of them that says, "Meat's back on the menu, boys." And someone was like, well, actually, why would they have menus? Because wouldn't that require restaurants? And I'm like, okay, maybe. But also, they're not speaking English. They're speaking Orcish. In Seventh Valkyrie, like if I every once in a while slip in a phrase that we might recognize, they're not actually talking in English. We're capturing the best idea of it. They're talking in Edoran or Uveran or Old Edoran or the Wild Speech or Icelandic, Aelish, Ceruvian, Cestran, etc. Ultimately, we're just applying the stories happening to them into our language and communication. It's a picture in another world, and your imagination kind of fills in the rest. And yeah, I talked about how, like, if we bring it into a visual medium, that'll be another interpretation. And I hope that one day, when this universe is kind of fully formed and has its own life, that we can pass on and let other people tell stories, and let other creators interpret this world in a rich way. Anyway, bringing it back to art, that's kind of the first step. Is I've given, from the audio perspective, we've got an editor now, and from the artistic perspective, we've got a very complex algorithm. And yeah, I'm hoping that each of these interpretations, we add a layer of fidelity until this kind of collective fictional world starts to feel more universal, but also more real. Anyway, for now, we'll wander on into the next chapter. Coming up on Friday, we have that Hateful Frenzy Part 2, which comes out to the public. Everybody, it should be already queued up for release. For the heroes, Hateful Frenzy's full chapter is already out on Patreon, and you can also see the next 2 episodes after that, which are The Ones Who Stand and Something on the Wind. Those are both on Patreon already if you're itching to keep listening. And we're actually closing in on the final chapters of Season 2, which will lead to some fun things as we reach the end of that season. And I'll keep y'all posted. But in the meantime, have a great one. Much love, and talk to you soon.